Imagine this for a second. You're out there, open road, engine humming, that horizon stretching out. It's a unique feeling, right? That trucker freedom. But, well, things are shifting out there. The whole landscape under your wheels, it's changing, sometimes in ways you just don't see coming. So today, we're doing a deep dive into what's really on the horizon for you. We're talking tech, policy changes, sure, but also those unexpected moments, the funny stuff, the weird stuff, that makes this job, well, one of a kind.
Yeah, and we've pulled together insights from, well, quite a few places for this. We've got perspectives from Life as a Trucker, some really detailed articles from Truckers VA. It's a mix. Our goal today, pretty simple, really. We want to boil down the crucial info, show how it actually impacts you directly day to day, and offer some practical takeaways, how to stay ahead, make sense of the challenges, maybe find some opportunities. And look, make sure you feel respected and supported through all this change.
Okay, sounds good. Let's hit the road then. First, big stop, the automation highway. Because believe it or not, these self-driving trucks, they're not just theory anymore. They're actually here, pulling shifts.
That's exactly right. Aurora Innovation, they've kicked off 24/47 driverless truck operations. And this is on the Dallas-Houston corridor, a really busy freight lane. What's pretty remarkable is the tech they're using, high-resolution LiDAR sensors. Lets these trucks see in pitch black, heavy rain, even light fog, which is, a big step up from just running them in daylight.
Right. And the business thinking behind it seems pretty clear, doesn't it? A truck running 24/7, no human driver needed. That basically doubles how much can use that truck. More freight, move faster, maybe cheaper. But what's the flip side? What's the immediate impact for drivers? Are jobs just gone? Or is it more about how the job itself changes?
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? From a driver's seat, yeah, a lot of folks see this as a big flashing warning sign,
Yeah.
especially for long haul and that predictable drop and hook stuff, where you just swap trailers. That seems particularly vulnerable. The feeling is maybe local runs, specialized freight, anything needing a human touch that might stick around longer for people. But line haul, definitely in automation sites. Carriers, though, the big fleets, they're watching this very closely. Doubling asset use without hiring more drivers, that's tempting, especially when everyone talks about driver shortages.
And the tech companies.
They're selling efficiency, safety, scalability. Fewer human errors, they argue, mean safer roads, theoretically. Then you've got regulators. Texas, for instance, seems pretty open to this stuff. But the federal government, other states, they might be a bit more cautious about letting these run wild across state lines just yet.
Okay, so speaking of rules, there's this talk about a national framework bill in Congress for autonomous vehicles. What's the deal with that?
Right, a new bill in the U.S. House. The idea is to create one single national policy for autonomous commercial vehicles. Get rid of the state-by-state patchwork of laws. On one side, yeah, it's a green light for the big players. Amazon, Tesla, too simple. They want that national clarity to roll things out faster.
There have got to be concerns.
Oh, absolutely. Big concerns. Can the AI really handle black ice or, a deer jumping out? What about someone brake checking the truck? And liability. If a driverless truck crashes, who pays? The fleet, the software company, the person who wrote the code. It gets complicated fast. And you can definitely expect states to push back if they feel Washington is taking over their trucking rules.
So it sounds like it's not just about if jobs change, but how fast and what kind of jobs remain.
Exactly, and forces this shift towards skills that, well, maybe robots can't easily replicate, skills that need human adaptability. Problem is, are enough people training for those now?
So, okay, bringing it back to the driver listening right now, how do you adapt? Where does this automation wave hit first?
The expectation is it'll hit those repetitive, predictable runs first. Think port to warehouse, hub to hub freight, the routes that are basically the same day in, day out. But humans will likely keep the trickier stuff longer. Mountain passes, bad weather routes, unpredictable rural deliveries.
So the real talk here is adaptation isn't really optional anymore.
Not really. It's not like jobs vanish overnight, but it's a clear signal. The road's changing. You got to be proactive.
And that proactive approach, that's kind of the life as a trucker philosophy, right? Seeing things from different angles, taking charge.
Precisely. It means diversifying your skills. Maybe learn specialized freight handling that's harder to automate. It also means using tech yourself, route optimization tools, AI assistance, whatever helps you stay competitive. And maybe most importantly, start thinking about your next chapter. What's your exit plan? Maybe using that downtime to build something new. An online income stream, perhaps. We can circle back to that.
Okay, good advice. Let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk data and advocacy. Because information, knowing what's going on, that's power.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And on that note, the Bureau of Transportation Statistics, the BTS, they just launched a new freight mobility data program.
Okay, BTS data program. Sounds maybe a little dry, but what's the key takeaway here for drivers? Why should they care about government stats?
Well, because this isn't just numbers in a report somewhere. This program tracks nationwide trucking movements, freight volumes, truck types, commodities, travel times, congestion hotspots, even traffic at ports and warehouses. And they're planning to update it more often, make it easily accessible online.
So how does that translate into something useful on the ground?
Okay, think about it. This data, it shapes decisions. Big ones.
Mm.
Infrastructure spending. Where do repair dollars go? Often to the bottlenecks identified by this data. Rulemaking hours of service changes, weight limits, environmental rules. They often use this data as justification. Rate negotiations. If you know the same trends brokers and shippers are seeing, you've got more leverage. Even enforcement priorities can shift based on where this data shows high traffic or issues.
So it democratizes the information a bit. It's not just the big guys who know what's going on.
Exactly. It levels the playing field, potentially. Now, you can use it from a driver's view. Yeah, it could mean finally getting attention on those awful bottlenecks. The downside, maybe worry it leads to stricter rules. Carriers will definitely use it to optimize routes, cut deadhead miles, boost profits. Analysts love it for supply chain planning. Policymakers, they use it to justify spending.
So the takeaway is don't ignore this data.
Right. Smart drivers, smart owner-operators, they'll use this BTS data, pick better lanes, negotiate better rates, maybe even push for policy changes that actually help truckers. Don't let others be the only ones using this info against you, essentially. Your wallet and your well-being are tied to this stuff.
Okay, good point. Now, speaking of influencing policy, there's been a leadership change out west, right? At the Harbor Trucking Association.
Yeah, the HTA. That's a key group, especially for West Coast port trucking. Robert Loya is the new CEO. He's taking over from Matt Schrapp.
And Loya, what's his background? What does he bring?
He comes from within the industry, held leadership roles in port trucking companies. He's got a reputation as a skilled advocate, someone who can kind of find that middle ground between the ports, the companies, the regulators, a real connector. Matt Schrapp, who he's replacing, he had a tough job navigating the pandemic port mess and all those environmental mandates over the last 4 years. Really fought for truckers during that time.
So what might Loya's leadership mean for port truckers specifically? What should they be watching for?
Well, it raises questions, right? Will the HTA get tougher on regulations, or will they focus more on collaboration? For port drivers, this really matters. It affects how strongly their voice is represented, especially smaller operators. And it impacts that huge issue in California, the push for zero-emission trucks and those deadlines. Drivers are likely hoping Loya takes a strong stand on things like port wait times, appointment systems, drayage pay. Carriers, meanwhile, probably want someone who understands the huge investments needed for that zero-emission transition. And environmental groups, they'll be watching his stance on clean air goals very closely.
So another example of how things happening off the road policy, politics can hit your paycheck just as hard as freight rates.
Absolutely. It really hammers home that need to stay informed, maybe build relationships where you can. And again, it points back to having that plan B, right? That income stream that isn't totally dependent on the whims of port authorities or regulators.
Definitely. Okay, we've covered some big picture stuff, tech, data, policy. Let's zoom in now, right down to the individual driver in the cab. Let's talk about a piece of tech that's become, well, almost essential. Not just nice to have, but critical for protecting your career. The dash cam. Your silent witness.
Couldn't agree more. The sources really highlight this. They mention models like the Garmin Dashcam Tandem, key features. Dual lenses, one facing the road, one facing the cab. High-res night vision so you can actually read license plates in the dark. Cloud storage is huge. Even if the truck gets wrecked, the footage is safe somewhere else. Loop recording, optional audio. It's pretty comprehensive.
And it's not just theoretical protection. There are real stories.
Right. Oh yeah, tons of them. One driver's friend got sideswiped on I-40 by a car merging into his lane. Dashcam proved it instantly. Saved him a ticket, insurance hike, the whole mess. Another one caught an SUV intentionally brake-checking the truck. Clear insurance fraud attempt, shut down by the video. And weather stuff too. Black ice incident, truck slides. The camera showed the driver was maintaining lane, proper speed, kept his CSA score clean. And you know how critical that CSA score is?
That's your compliance, safety, accountability score, huge deal for your record, insurance, everything.
Exactly. So this career insurance idea, it's real. Without video, it's often your word against theirs. And let's be honest, sometimes the trucker's word doesn't carry the weight it should in a dispute. It protects you legally, protects your job if the carrier tries to blame you, and, frankly, it can even make you a more conscious driver knowing it's recording. Most drivers I talk to, they just won't run without one now. It's peace of mind for a couple $100. Carriers like them too, cuts down on claims.
Any pushback? Privacy concerns?
Some public discussion about privacy, yeah. But recording the public road, generally legal. And for truckers, the need for proof in an accident or incident, it just outweighs those concerns for most. Bottom line, video is your shield. It lets you own your story, get one, make sure it's set up right, cloud stored, 204/7 recording. Don't skimp on it.
Good advice. Okay, we've hit the serious stuff hard. Technology shifts, policy impacts, personal protection, but trucking isn't all serious business, is it? There are those days, those loads, those moments that are just weird. Let's lighten things up. Tales from the weird side of trucking.
All right, I'm ready for this. You must have a few stories tucked away from your time out there.
Oh, absolutely. One that sticks out. A full truckload of mannequin torsos. Just the torsos. Hundreds of them. No arms, no legs, no heads. Just stacked. Looked like a bizarre plastic army back there. The looks I got at truck stops pulling that trailer. Priceless. I asked the warehouse guys what they were for. They just shrugged. Sometimes, yeah, better not to know.
Huh? I can picture it. That's a good one. We've heard some other wild ones too, pulled from driver stories. Like the guy whose trailer latch failed. Ended up chasing dozens of chickens around a truck stop in Kentucky. Called it free-range delivery. Or the driver hauling a massive 60-foot inflatable duck. Needed an oversized permit and everything. Got lots of photos. Apparently some middle fingers too.
An inflatable duck. Wow.
Then there was the load-marked medical supplies that rattled. Turned out to be anatomical skeleton models heading to a university. Creepy cargo. And you can't forget the simple ones, like 42,000 pounds of bananas, who made the trailer smell like a smoothie shop for, like, weeks afterwards.
So why does this weird freight even happen?
All sorts of reasons. Special events, company marketing stunts, weird retail promotions, movie props. Sometimes it's just dispatch scrambling to find any load to keep you moving. They definitely come with unique challenges. Sometimes weird weight distribution. You become an instant attention magnet on the highway. Special handling instructions.
But drivers seem to handle it with good humor, mostly.
Yeah, it breaks up the monotony, right? Gives you a great story to tell. Keeps things interesting out there.
Definitely. But, thinking about this, is there maybe a deeper point here beyond just the funny stories?
I think so. These stories, they highlight the unique life, the unique experiences of being a trucker, things most people never see or imagine. And it circles back to what we were saying about leveraging your time and experiences, not just hauling freight for shippers, but thinking about yourself too. You'd be amazed how many people are fascinated by the real, behind-the-scenes trucking life. Those weird stories, people love them. Sharing those stories online, social media, maybe a YouTube channel, whatever, that could actually build an audience, maybe even lead to a side income, right from your cab, using your downtime.
So turn those unique experiences, even the weird ones, into an opportunity. Manage your time wisely, build some financial flexibility.
Exactly. It's about seeing the potential in your own story.
Okay, so wrapping things up today, we've covered a lot of ground. It's clear the road ahead is, well, it's changing fast. We've got autonomous trucks making real moves, new data programs that are going to shape policy, leadership changes in key advocacy groups. It's definitely a dynamic time.
It is. And there are challenges, no doubt about it. But like we talked about, these shifts, they also open up opportunities. The real power, it still sits with you, the driver. The power to steer your own journey, financially, professionally, staying informed, being willing to adapt, maybe learning new skills, thinking proactively about your future, maybe building those diverse income streams we mentioned. That's how you stay in control. That's how you ensure you feel respected and supported, even when the industry landscape is shifting under your feet. It's about using your position, your experiences to create options, so you're always the one driving your own destiny.
Well said. So the final thought for everyone listening today. The road ahead might be changing, but the power to steer your own journey, financially and professionally, remains in your hands. What new skill or story will you invest in next?
And if you're interested in exploring guides and training on building those online income streams, planning that next chapter, check out resources like LifeAsATrucker.com, RetireFromTrucking.com, and TruckerSideHustle.com. Lots of good info there.